When social media first hit, it became instantly popular because it made it possible for involvement from outside parties. The major reason for social media's success is the influence human beings have on each other, which is tremendous. We sat down with sociology expert Dr. Williams, who is going to break down how much sociology has to do with social media.
So when we're talking about sociology and social media, you can't have social media without integrating the study of sociology. Sociology is the science of human societies, human behavior and interaction. It examines how communities and societies evolve over time. Despite the types of social media that may be used, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, whatever that comes up each day and how it evolves itself, it doesn't matter. What it comes down to most is the exchange of the exchanges between human relationships. It's all about building relationships with others, whether you know them or not. But at the heart of all of it is this idea of human connection and human relationship. So you can't even talk about social media. Just the term social implies that there's interaction between individuals, and that's all sociology. When we break this down, in particular, like say for instance, we talk about Facebook well, I think Twitter is probably more pronounced than Instagram and stuff right about now between the younger generation. When you look at this, it's this thing of people are trying to figure out how many people can I connect with, and somehow the more people that you're able to connect with is somehow tied to some type of gratification, larger gratification. What we know from research is that in order for human beings to develop into normal and healthy functioning beings, we have to have social interaction. So on one hand, people say, well, the more you're connected with others, the happier you are. Sometimes I question that. I wonder if it's more about the more you need to connect to other people, is it because there's something about your own life that's somehow missing? And so we have this notion that if that's the case, everybody should be happy, and because everybody is exposed to social media, and most people engage in interacting with social media. But the reality is, we get to create who we want to be. We can create a whole new reality for ourselves on social media that may not have anything to do with real life. And in doing so, we can take the things that we don't like about ourselves, and we can delete those things and put forth an image that is our ideal self. And so, are we really happy when we're putting forth this pseudo person or this pseudo self as opposed to who we really are? One of the things that we look at in sociology is this idea that social media is oftentimes used as an expression of broader cultural values. If you look at things that people post on their social media site, oftentimes it's a reflection of what's going on in society today. There was a time when you're talking about same-sex marriages and stuff that people just shunned it. They didn't know anything about it. They shunned it. But now social media allows a space where people who share the values of people in same-sex relationships, and all of a sudden, those people who were marginalized and somehow scrutinized, they are able to have a space where they can be who they are, they can express themselves fully. There's this theory in sociology that we talk about, cultivation theory. And when you expose people to something over time, repeatedly, and for over long periods of time, that ideology or those values become part of the normative, it's kind of cultivated in society, and so it becomes more normalized. And so sociology is so intertwined in all of this when we're talking about social media. When you look at today and the youth of today, many people use social media as a source of information. That's where they get their news from. And sometimes it's just, they're just fun platforms where we can go and connect with people and escape our own reality. It's a way to just take some of the seriousness of life off and get off, don't have to live on edge and just release and to be fun. And so I think sometimes we need that space. We live in a society that it's all about being successful and we're on a daily grind, whether we're in school, whether we're working, and to have a space where we can just release, but it's an escapism. It's a way to escape what's going on. And I think that's important. I think that's important for people to have. It all comes down to sending messages to other people, interacting with other people, and that is the crux of sociology.
We also sat down with a colleague and asked her some questions about social media as it plays a big part in her life.
It's something I do out of habit and boredom. If someone told me they didn't have Facebook, and I have friends who don't have Facebook, it's weird. Would I use a phone to contact them? Yeah, but it's just, for instance, for my birthday, we just created a Facebook event page because it's really simple. You can invite lots of people. And those people who didn't have Facebook, I had to then individually text, and that's just a lot of work. So, do I think that it helps or hinders my relationships? I'd have to say neither. Only because I'm not the type of person who posts my entire life on Facebook. Although I'm there, I don't interact as much. I just kind of creep, I guess. So I build my relationships outside of social media. And anything that I would say to you in person or put online in person is what I'll put on my Facebook. If I wouldn't say it to you in person or show you this picture of me, then I'm probably not going to put it on Facebook. How do I think it affects a woman's self-esteem? I think it can be hard. Not as much on Facebook, but more on Instagram. Most of the time, at least for me personally, all the people I follow on Facebook are friends with on Facebook, are people that I'm friends with in real life. So it helps me connect with other people. But on Instagram, I'm friends with, I'll follow celebrities or fitness people. And it's just hard because their lives look so perfect and their bodies look so perfect, but you have to remember that it's an edited form of their life. It's an edited picture, and it's, they're not going to show you the day where they're super bloated. But we all have those days. So realizing that they're just human, even though on social media they look like they have a perfect life. Okay, all of my social media platforms would be Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. LinkedIn, I don't actually use LinkedIn at all, so I have it because they say you need to have one, but I don't have it. Pinterest, I like looking for fashion, ideas and inspiration, looking for recipes or interesting crafts to try. Instagram, mostly creeping. Just looking at pictures, or I love looking at memes. Me and my sister will send memes back and forth, and it's just really funny. And then Facebook is checking up on the people I actually know. So this person got married. Why do people follow celebrities? I think it's because we're just nosy, and it's a way that most of us don't live, and so you're curious to see how the other side lives. And it is that edited form of reality. So every Kim K picture that gets posted, she looks perfectly sculpted or perfectly thin. Her face looks perfect. Her makeup but in real life, she might have a big fat zit. She just edited it out. So I think it's seeing that perfection, that version of perfection, and then also just being nosy and curious how the other side lives. I think social media has brought a lot of different views together. So, whereas before I had no idea, if I lived in America a long time ago, or even before social media, why would I know about an earthquake happening somewhere else? Or a terrorist attack somewhere else? It would eventually be posted on the news, but you have the news that has to filter that. Now we don't need the news as a filter. I think that women use social media to gauge who they are and their level of fashion and their level of relevance in their life by the number of likes on a page or a picture and the number of comments you can get. It seems like the more sexualized pictures get the most likes, views, comments, And so you have a generation of young girls who are now over-sexualized and put their self-worth in how many Instagram followers can I get, when life isn't really about that.
Can you tell us anything about the duck face? You know this famous duck face in pictures. I'm sure you know about it.
Duck face.
You know that's what they call it. Yes. Do you think that ties in with sociology at all?
Well, I think absolutely it ties into the duck face. Absolutely ties into sociology, simply because it's an expression of a generation that's the way they do things. And I think the duck face is just an expression of this generation expressing themselves the way they want to express themselves. And it's caught on, and it's part of what I said, what sociology does. It's a way that we set the agenda or cultivate certain ideas. And I think this generation is carving out certain meanings, social meanings that they want to express and they want to attach to who they are. And I think that's what they're doing